bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Our guest this hour is Cynthia Kimball Humphreys with the BRAC PAC. Welcome, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Tell us what that stands for.
Well, the BRAC PAC is a coalition of women from around the nation, and we've all tested positive for either the BRCA1 gene or the BRCA2 gene.
Which is?
Breast and ovarian cancer genes. So we have mutations that are faulty mutations that make us more likely to get breast and ovarian cancer.
And how did this come about?
The BRAC PAC?
The whole BRAC PAC thing, yes.
Well, we felt it was a need to educate people that they could have a predisposition for a genetic mutation, and a lot of people don't know that. They don't know in their family history, whether it's the maternal side or the paternal side, that they could have a defective gene and that they could do something about it if they do have this gene.
So there is a test that you can take then,
yes,
that determines if you have this gene that could cause these two types of cancer.
Correct.
Now, you have a family history.
I do.
With this. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was the first one diagnosed with breast cancer. I was living in Japan, teaching English, eating sushi, exercising, in the best shape of my life. And I had 3 doctors tell me the lump was probably not cancer. And they did find out it was cancer, 31. And then a few years later, I had another sister who was diagnosed, also in her 30s, with breast cancer. A few years later, another sister diagnosed with breast cancer. And then our doctors felt that there's something going on with this family. You're so young to get breast cancer. So we did a blood test and found out we had BRCA1.
Which gives you a predisposition
yes,
for this.
Yes.
And you have younger sisters as well.
Yes. Our 2 baby sisters did not have breast cancer, but they did test positive for BRCA1, and they chose to do preventive surgeries just to reduce their chances of getting any cancers. Now, just because you get the BRCA1 or 2 doesn't mean that you will get breast or ovarian cancer. But they chose to do preventive surgeries. Because of the family history. Yes.
So you travel the country? You're from Utah?
Yes. Yes, southern Utah, yes.
And your organization travels the country and spreads this word.
We do. We have mother and daughter teams. We have younger women, older women, all over the country. A couple weeks ago, I was in New York City, and I spoke at Kingsbrook Jewish Medical Center. It was a genetics symposium, and I was the patient speaker. So to survivors, previvors, physicians, medical centers, volunteers all over.
What is a previvor?
A previvor is someone who has tested positive for either BRCA1 or BRCA2, and they don't have cancer. They can make some decisions so that they don't get cancer through testing, through medical management with their physician, those kinds of things.
You're a relatively young woman. This is it must be a fairly new phenomenon. The determining that there's a genetic predisposition.
Yes, I think that there's a blood test, and there's also a mouthwash where you can find out if you have these BRCA1 or BRCA2. And I think it came about in 1994, somewhere around that time.
So relatively recent.
Yes, yes, yes.
And if people find out that what you're trying to do is get people to take the test then.
Or to consider it.
To consider it. Okay.
And if they don't feel comfortable testing, at least they can work with their physician who knows their family history, and they can medically manage them and give them options and alternatives. So preventive surgeries aren't for everyone. The test isn't for everyone, but at least they can make choices.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, yes, absolutely.
And you have a website.
Our web address is www.bracnow.com, and they have a 1-800 number. It's 1-866-BRAC-NOW. And they also have a Facebook page, except this Facebook page is Just Ask. So if you're a Facebook fan, just go to your search little bar in the upper right-hand corner and type in Just Ask, and you'll have a community where you can talk to other folks about BRCA1 and BRCA2.
Thank you very much, Cynthia.
You're welcome.
Our guest has been Cynthia Kimball Humphreys with the BRAC PAC, and I'm Don Olson for Comcast Newsmakers.